ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहैः तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। प्रातः स्मरामि हृदि स्फुरदात्मतत्त्वम् सच्चित्सुखं परमहंसगतिं तुरीयम् यत् स्वप्नजागर सुषुप्तमवेति नित्यं तद् ब्रह्म निष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्घः। आत्मचैतन्यमाश्रित्य देहेन्द्रियमनोधियः स्वक्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्ते सूर्यलोकं यथा जनाः देहेन्द्रियगुणान् कर्मान् अमले सच्चिदात्मनि अध्यस्त्यन्त्यविवेकेन गगने नीलतादिवत् अज्ञानान्मानसोपाधेः कृत्वादीनि कर्तृत्वादीनि चात्मनि कल्प्यन्तेऽम्बुगते चन्द्रे चलनादि यथाम्भसः रागेच्छासुखदुःखादि बुद्धौ सत्यां प्रवर्तते सुषुप्तौ नास्ति तन्नाशे तस्मात् बुद्धेस्तु नात्मनः प्रकाशोऽर्कस्य तो यस्य शैत्यमग्रे यथोष्णता स्वभावः सच्चिदानन्द नित्यनिर्मलतात्मनः आत्मानः सच्चिदंशश्च बुद्धेर्वृत्तिरिति द्वयं संयोज्य च विवेकेन जानामीति प्रवर्तते आत्मनो विक्रिया नास्ति बुद्धेर्बोधो न जात्विति जीवः सर्वमलं ज्ञात्वा ज्ञाता द्रष्टेति मुह्यति रज्जु सर्पवदात्मानं जीवं ज्ञात्वा भयं वहेत् नाहं जीवः परात्मेति ज्ञातं चेन्निर्भयो भवेत् आत्मावभासयत्येको बुद्ध्यादीनीन्द्रियाण्यपि दीपो घटतिव त्वात्मा दीपो घटादिवस्त्वात्मा जडैस्तैर्नावभास्यते स्वबोधेनान्यबोधे च बोधरूपतयात्मनः न दीपस्यान्यदीपे च यथा स्वात्मप्रकाशने निषिध्य निखिलोपाधिः नेति नेतीति वाक्यतः विद्यादैक्यं महावाक्यैः जीवात्मपरमात्मनोः आविद्यकं शरीरादि दृश्यं बुद्बुदवत्क्षरम् एतद्विलक्षणं विद्यात् अहं ब्रह्मेति निर्मलम् देहे देहान्यत्वान्न मे जन्म जराकार्षलयादयः शब्दादिविषयैः सङ्गो निरीन्द्रियतया नथा निरीन्द्रिय तया न च अमनस्त्वान्न मे दुःख रागद्वेषभयादयः अप्राणो ह्यमना शुभ्रः इत्यादि श्रुतिशासनात् निर्गुणो निष्क्रियो नित्यो निर्विकल्पो निरञ्जनः निर्विकारो निराकारो नित्यमुक्तोऽस्मि निर्मलः अहमाकाशवत् सर्वं बहिरन्तर्गतोऽच्युतः सदा सर्वसमसिद्धो निस्सङ्गो निर्मलोऽचलः नित्यशुद्धविमुक्तैकम् अखण्डानन्दमद्वयम् सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं यत् परं ब्रह्माहमेव तत् एवं निरन्तराभ्यस्ता ब्रह्मैवास्मीति वासना हरत्यविद्याविक्षेपान् रोगानिवरसायनम् विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् विविक्तदेश आसीनो विरागो विजितेन्द्रियः भावयेदेकमात्मानं तमनन्तमनन्यधीः आत्मन्येवाखिलं दृश्यं प्रविलाप्य धिया सुधीः भावयेदेकमात्मानं निर्मलाकाशवत्सदा रूपवर्णादिकं सर्वं विहाय परमार्थवित् परिपूर्णचिदानन्द स्वरूपेणावतिष्ठते ज्ञानज्ञेयभेदः परेणात्मनि विद्यते चिदानन्दैकरूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयमेव तत् एवमात्मारणौ ध्यानं मथने सततं कृते उदितावगतिर्ज्वाला सर्वाज्ञानेन्धनं दहेत् अरुणेनेव बोधेन पूर्वं सन्तमसे हृते तत आविर्भवेदात्मा स्वयमेवांशुमानिव आत्मा तु सततं प्राप्तोऽपि अप्राप्तवद विद्यया तन्नाशे प्राप्तवद्भाति स्वकण्ठाभरणं यथा। ॐ तत्सत्।
Hariom, as decided 41st verse. I'll just read the last paragraph of 40th verse. The world of names and forms has merged into the substratum, and the knower of the self becomes the knower of the supreme self, Paramatma Vita, himself an embodiment of the infinite consciousness and bliss. The dreamer cannot see, experience, or understand the dreamer at that moment himself becomes the waker. No are the days for him. He has awakened to a better, clearer, ampler world of the waking state consciousness. Just as the dreamer has ended his dream on waking up, so too all the perceptions of the world recognized by the limited ego ends when it realizes the supreme state of pure consciousness. He becomes himself the Brahman. ज्ञातुर्ज्ञानज्ञेयभेदः परेणात्मनि विद्यते चिदानन्दैकरूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयमेव हि ज्ञातृ knower, jnana knowledge, jnana object of knowledge, bhedah these differences, pare supreme, na not, atmani in the self, vidyate is chidanandaika rupatvat because of the being of the nature of knowledge and bliss. Deepyate shines swayam by itself, eva alone, he verily. ज्ञातृ ज्ञानज्ञेय भेदः परे न आत्मनि विद्यते चिदानन्दैकरूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयं एव हि. There are no distinctions such as knower, the knowledge, and the object of knowledge in the Supreme Self on account of its being of the nature of endless bliss. It does not admit of such distinctions within itself. It alone shines by itself. I repeat, there are no distinctions such as knower, the knowledge, and the object of knowledge in the Supreme Self on account of its being of the nature of endless bliss. It does not admit of such distinctions within itself. It alone shines by itself. The intellect is capable of perceiving only objects other than itself, and so all our knowledge is constituted by the knowledge of things other than ourselves. An intelligent life in this world, in terms of our lived experiences of knowing things, is possible only by a contact of the experiencer with the objects of experience. I repeat this paragraph. The intellect is capable of perceiving only objects other than itself. And so all our knowledge is constituted by the knowledge of things other than ourselves. An intelligent life in this world, in terms of our lived experiences of knowing things, is possible only by a contact of the experience with the objects of experience. The world of objects is as much necessary as the subject who is the experiencer, and between the experiencer and the experienced, a certain relationship should remain, which is called the experiencing. Without these three fundamental factors, the subject, the object, and the necessary relationship between the two, no experience is possible at our present condition of body intellect existence. Being non dual, homogeneous, and eternal, the self cannot suffer in itself any distinctions such as the subject or the object, and therefore every seeker comes to ask, how will I then realize or experience the self? And with what instrument will I experience it when I have transcended the body perceptions, mental feelings, and intellectual thoughts, transcending these known equipments and their fields of objects, if there be the truth, who will realize it and by what instrument? The answer is that the self is the very consciousness by which all the thoughts, feelings, and perceptions are illumined. And when all these are eliminated to know knowledge, no other knowledge is necessary. There is a footnote. No other knowledge is necessary. Here, the term knowledge is used to mean instrument of knowing. Swamiji's discourses on Gita, chapter 13, verse 7 to 11. Carefully read the portion explaining the jnanam in that particular context. You want me to read these verses, Brahmaraji? I will just complete this paragraph. The answer is that the self is the very consciousness by which all thoughts, feelings, and perceptions are illumined, and when all these are eliminated to know knowledge, no other knowledge is necessary. Self is knowledge itself. It is consciousness itself. When all the furniture is removed from a room in the daytime, what happens to the sun? It illumines on itself whether there are objects or not. And to see the sun, no other torch is necessary. I repeat this paragraph, this page, whole page. A world of objects is as much necessary as the subject who is experienced. And between the experiencer and the experienced, a certain relationship should remain, which is called the experience. Without these three fundamentals, the subject, the object, and necessary relationship between the two, no experience is possible at our present condition of body, intellect, existence. Being non-dual, homogeneous, and eternal, the self cannot suffer in itself any distinctions, such as the subject or the object. And therefore, every seeker comes to ask, how will I then realize or experience the self, and with what instrument will I experience it? I have transcended the body perceptions, mental feelings, and intellectual thoughts. Transcending these known equipments and their fields of objects, if there be the truth, who will realize it and by what instrument? The answer is that the self is the very consciousness by which all thoughts, feelings, and perceptions are illumined. And when all these are eliminated to know knowledge, no other knowledge is necessary. Self is knowledge itself. It is consciousness itself. When all the furniture is removed from a room in the daytime, what happens to the sun? It illumines on itself, whether there are objects or not. And to see the sun, no other torch is necessary. I will just read this chapter 13, verse 7. Just give me the. You can share your understanding till I pray.
Taking the example of the furniture in the room, when all that is removed, the sun shines on itself and it doesn't require another torch to look at it, to see its brightness. That is quite revealing in the sense that once this disidentification of all the other matter envelopments happens, then the self shines by itself. That is knowledge.
Brahmaraji, here in chapter 13, 7 to 11 verse, they are not related. I will just read. I think there is some typing error. Jnanam. Okay, I will just read the verse 7. Ichha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghat chetana dhrutihi etat
Sangataschetana dhritihi.
सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम्. Desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, aggregate body, intelligence, fortitude. This kshetra has been thus briefly described with its modifications. अमानित्वं मदम्भित्वं महिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यम् आत्मविनिग्रहः. Humility, unpretentiousness, non-injury, forgiveness, uprightness, service to the teacher, purity, steadfastness, self-control. इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधिः जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्. Indifference to the objects of the senses and also absence of egoism, perception of or reflection upon evils in birth, death, old age, sickness, and pain. Asaktiranabhishwangam, asaktiranabhishwagnah. No, I think I'm reading.
Asaktiranabhishwangam. You're right.
असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु. Non-attachment, non-identification of self with son, wife, home, and the rest, and constant even-mindedness on the attainment of the desirable and the undesirable. Mayi chananyayogena bhaktiravyabicharini viviktadesha विविक्तदेशसेवित्वं मरतिर्जनसंसदि. Unswerving devotion unto me by the yoga of non-separation, resorting to solitary places, distaste for the society of men. So that was the roadmap. How can we achieve that? How can we be that? Instead, it's a journey from head to heart, as Brahmaraji has beautifully said. So once we are there, you do not need any other knowledge. It is because it is the knowledge in itself, and it is self-illuminatory. Yeah.
Jai Gurudev, uh, uh, that knowledge itself will be shining then when I negate my Sukshma Sharira or the Sthula Sharira. The understanding will be there at that point. But how would I be perceiving it through then my intellect? Or I mean, I'm not getting that part. Like how it would be to get enlightened. Then I don't have the instrument of knowing then, right? Or and if you have, if at one point if you see even the body mind, uh, sthula sharira, sukshma sharira is Atman, isn't it? Because the material cause and the efficient cause is all Brahman. And then if everything is Brahman, then uh, what is the need of even negating that? Why can't we say that, oh, this is also Brahman and this is also Brahman? Would that not be right way to approach? Okay, anyway, we are going to meditate, but including these also in the Brahman part, can we do the sadhana? Because uh, the material cause and the efficient cause is also Atman, isn't it?
But will that relieve you of the misery that we're going through? You will continue to go through
No,
ups
but
and
the
downs.
understanding will be there. This is also Brahman, right? My
Yeah, then you've
body is
reached a
also
state of
Brahman.
stability. See, if you understand that, then you've reached that Sthita Prajna state.
Hmm.
Correct?
Hmm.
So you understand all the pairs of opposites in the world
Hmm.
is nothing but a manifestation of the Jagat of Maya. Then you
Hmm.
achieve a state of stability. But to achieve that, you require all of this knowledge.
Hmm. Like, I mean, this was one thought. I haven't meditated upon it, but I felt like, okay, this is not me, this is not me. But when we are saying that, we are not, are we saying it the right thing? Because it is Brahman. It is material, what I am made with is Brahman also. And who has made it? Brahman only. So, how can we distinguish my body from Brahman? This was the question I got.
Means
One
we are
thing.
not getting attached to the body mind.
The
Attachment
attachment,
getting away.
if I take off the attachment, would that not be same as negating it? Like it is understanding that either I am that, including my body and sthula sharira and sukshma sharira, I am that.
I
Can
think,
we?
but having body and getting too much involved in that only, because you will get the pain and all, but you have to come over the pain. Then you will not feel I am body.
But when I say just intellectually, I'm not the body, would the pain go? No, no.
But you will sustain that. You will come over it. It will not bother you that much. The whatever is requirement of taking care of it, you will take it. but you will not all the time involved in that taking care only. You will be feeling free, light, like that, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay,
very
and
beautiful.
yeah, and one more thing I was just thinking, like the example of example of spider. When we take that example, he the web cob is from the spider, and i- that is a maya created by Brahman. Then is it that Brahman is it's himself caught up in that web? Is I this is what thought came to me, because there cannot be two Brahmans, right? The Brahman in Jiva and Brahman in
Yeah.
uh, so is
So
it
that
the
is
same
the
Brahman?
initial knot. It is the Brahman aspect of Brahman, which is Jiva, which
Mhm.
is covered by avidya.
Uh,
Avidya
uh, uh,
is what is causing all of this. This
yeah.
distinction between Jiva and Brahma.
So
Actually, there is only one.
we correct. So the thinking means when we talk, or the language the way we use it, the Brahman is separated and Jiva is separate. But somewhere even the example when we give, it is the spider who is doing its own web is in caught in the same web. Is it so, or something different Brahman has created as a Jiva, and then I'm caught in Maya? That Brahman is separate. It's not so, right?
Yeah. It's an interesting line of thought, but the
Okay.
Maya
Yeah.
itself, the power of Brahman, that Vikshepa, the whole thing that covers and appears, it as though appears as an illusion, is nothing but the power of Brahman itself. But it
Then
doesn't mean Brahman is caught
I'm
up in his own Maya. See, if
the
you can,
if I'm saying the Jiva's Atma, I'm in and through the Brahman, then who the Jiva Atma and the Brahmatma, are they not the same?
yeah,
Say
that
excluding Maya, it's the same thing,
it
right?
is. Of course, it's
And
the same.
for that matter, Maya itself is Brahman also, right? Because
Maya,
if there is a knowledge, when simultaneously if it is happening, like Maya is also there, that is Avidya is also there, knowledge is also there, then how can Maya be there in the presence of knowledge? Even that question I had. Okay, we can leave it there. Just these thoughts were there. Thank you.
no, very insightful thinking, insightful thoughts. Um,
Maya is a product of self only, no? So self is there, but it is going to play with the Guruji says na ki we are playing in this thing. So he is just Sakshi and it is saying whatever avidya he has created and everything is happening, just happening.
So, but if you have remember, I don't know, it's a beginning of Atma bodha or Tattva bodha. It was there. It is not come out of knowledge. The Avidya has not come out of knowledge. I mean, different
Avidya has
times
not
we,
come out of knowledge.
but
Is it?
knowledge is
What
Brahman,
did you say?
and it is associated with Brahman. So how can we say that Avidya is associated with Brahman? It is his upadhi. How
No,
can
it's not
Brahma create?
associated with the Brahman. The Avidya is not, he's the knowledge, right? Then how that is going to be associated with the
Then
Avidya?
how? Why?
Avidya is,
Who?
hmm,
Avidya.
hmm.
Has it happened
Avidya is
naturally?
like, it's a beginning glass, but the Avidya comes when you are looking at this Upadhis, right? It is conditioned. See, the jiva is conditioned with this gross body, subtle body, karna sarira, so that means it's an instrument, instrument of the experience, whatever that is, that body, mind, and soul, the buddhi is considered as the instrument of experience. whereas the object, the body perceives through the senses, through the sense objects. That perceiver, through the consciousness, then you are working with your consciousness. But if you're not doing that, then you're just perceiving, saying, I have the pain, I have this, I enjoy the ice cream or something like that. Then we are using our ego, the ahankara, then it becomes that ignorance. That is where that ignorance is. So the ignorance meaning here, what is the ignorance is basically that we don't have the knowledge that the Brahman is everything. That knowledge is lacking. We think we are the doing. We are like, meaning I am doing, I am rich, I am poor, or I am this, I am that. Then I have to do this, I have to do that work, I have to take care of that. Things like that. When we keep mine, this, my house, my car, my this, my that. So then we have this object always be looking outwards. It's not relating anything to your subject. That is where this, when you're looking at knowledge, is subject feeling. Always don't look it as an object. So everything else, what we see, our body, we are seeing, right? Whatever we see is more of like an object. So we always kind of put that is what that vikshapa is, that is the avarana. So when you have to say, when you see a flower, it looks beautiful, but it also gives that fragrance, that where that fragrance is coming from, that essence, we call that is, the fragrance is called as Brahman. So like that, we have to visualize, but it is not going to uh, really visualized, meaning like you cannot see it, because it's very subtler thing. So understanding that subtlety is what makes it the difference. So even though we are with this body, you detach yourself, say that, yeah, I'm not this gross body. So remember the other day we talked about when you're dead matter, right? Without this Brahman,
Self.
who is the energy, without that life force, without that, what's going to happen? The whole is a dead matter. The whole body is dead matter. So, for example, he takes a dead person. He has everything. He has body, mind, everything. And of course, the subtle body might have gone out of the body, but then the karna sarira gone out of the body. But that body is not working, because that, even though that body is like a conditioning, like, you're peeling the onion, the outer skin is gone and this is gone, that is gone, like that. You get to the core, but you don't see anything. When you get to the core, there's nothing there. So that nothing is that space or light, whatever we call it, just that's a knowledge. That's Brahman. So that is what we call it as a consciousness. No name, no rupa, no nothing. I mean, in the sense, all that gunas that we read, the nirguno, nirakara, nirvikara, nirvikalpa, niranjana, nitya, and all that. So everything you see is Brahman. That's how we have to remember this. Like, I think at least that's what I feel like. And whenever you go, you relate to that. When the more you relate to that, I am Brahman. And when you see a flower, when you see a tree, when you see a mountain, when you see the water running in the creek, something like that, you even at home, even how the car is going, the electricity, the gas, or whatever, the electricity, that same thing, example, many examples they're given, right? The gold in the ornaments, that is gold, but you name different ornaments, so that we are all different beings, like with names and forms, but that's only one thing, that gold is the one making all the ornaments. The same thing with the pot and clay, that the clay is the material, but then it gives different parts in various shapes and sizes. Same like electricity is the one, but it helps to light the bulb, switch is going on, the refrigerator working. So the same electricity is going around. So the same thing that we think that is relating to Brahman. That's only example. We cannot, uh, so that's how this works. The whole universe is pervaded by that very subtle one consciousness. So
Two
everything you see is that's a knowledge that we have to remember.
I
But
think two examples we have to go through. One is a dark room where light comes, and one is Gurudev gives the sun is there and it's light fall on earth, but only the part illuminated where the light comes. It doesn't mean ki where the light is not coming, so sun is not existing or there is a vidya. Like it cannot,
I
it can't be
understand,
so.
but when you're objective, when you're working with the objects, like say, for example, she was talking about spider with the net and whatnot. Yes, the spider has that ability to do the make the net. That is the Brahman. That's how you see it. That the structure itself of the spider is not Brahman. The how that ability to make that the how it makes a spider, how the bird builds the nest. Those type of who taught the bird to make the nest like that? Do you know how to make it? No. So everyone given that ability to do it, the innate thing, that thing is coming from that is the nature, the knowledge that is given. That's what I think that's how we go about. I understand the sun shining and all that stuff, but this example, like how we I think what is her name? Balaji was reading the experiencer experiencing and all that type, but I kind of came in the middle, so I didn't know what the example was. Anyway, so that's my thought on that.
Yeah, in the same example of the cobweb and the spider does not, other insects get caught up in the cobweb, but the spider does not. And it takes it back in. The way it weaves it, it takes it back in as well.
Yeah, same thing with the
So,
snake with the poison, like
yeah,
how did the poison kills the other person when it stings, but it doesn't kill the snake. So every animal has its own things,
So,
so
with the same example, if we take with the spider, see why we are using these examples to understand it, isn't it? So, at one point, we cannot say we can't take this example. At least, then with some other examples, there should be some explanation, right? Which is inexplainable. We are trying to gather that. So the examples are given. So to understand either the right example, we take to the end, or just we can't leave it halfway through. Oh no, it is not like that. My thought was, if Brahman and Jiva are the same, and if we take the example of spider weaves the cobweb, and that is Maya, right? This is what we are comparing a spider with the cobweb is Maya. He has weaved the Maya, and then who is caught in it? You said other insects. So am I separate from the spider? The insect is separate from the spider, or the spider himself gets caught? This was my question. The understanding of me, Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, I have got that understanding. But what has been happening is we have built a castle uh, with a shaky, for me at least, with a shaky foundation, I feel. But when I'm bidding, it's a very beautiful palace because I'm getting the full understanding what happens and how it happens. But the bases are not very strong, I feel. Every time I'm getting these doubts because when we come back, when we say this is not mean, but no, this is material is them. The ajnana part, the avidya part comes in. That's why I have forgotten my nature. Fine, but is it that spider who has forgotten that? And
I will just
just a
bring
funny
you
thing, I thought of this which movie, Amir Khan's movie, like short memory, and he keeps writing on his body. Gajni.
Gajnis.
uh, yeah, I'm sorry I keep bringing up
You,
these things,
you
but
just take it
I
as
So,
the
think
what
evolution.
do you want to say? You can just tell about the Maya, cow wave, and that you you explain yourself. What do you think about that?
I felt Maya, the cobweb is Maya, and Brahman has created it, and Brahman himself got caught in it. This was what I felt. Because there is no Jiva separate thing, there is no insect over there. He himself forgot it. So he himself has to come out of it. This was my.
But Brahma is also Sakshi all the time, so how will he be caught? Even if
Ah, this
we
is
will
this is
seem
what.
it's caught, but it may not. It's
Then
for Jiva only. Jiva
so,
has an intellect
ha,
and everything, so he
so
will
there
feel
so
that. But
the
Atma is Brahman is not the object of understanding something. I think it's feeling like you will feel. वो उसको डिसेक्ट नहीं कर सकते हैं हम आत्मा को और ना ही कोई बोलेगा कि आत्मा क्या है.
absolutely right. That part I got. But the creation itself and the avidya when it came, this is what I'm trying to understand still. I haven't got the understanding yet complete. So when
That
Brahmaraji
itself
again.
said the
amazing,
other
right?
insects come and get caught, so the insects which is Jivatma is separate from spider. This is what my question
I
is.
think there ends that's the limitation of any example. Here you cannot
Yeah,
bring in the insects and say,
yeah,
oh, is the insect separate from the spider? No, that is
right,
where the limitation of any physical example is. Now, just for
right.
your understanding, I understand where you're coming from, Rinal. I want you to go back to the point where Swamiji talks in depth about how the importance of Shruti is. What is Shruti? And why we need to have that Shraddha in
Faith.
the Shruti.
Mm,
Example
mm,
is of that little, your a woolen, knitted woolen that your great great grandmother has handed down to her daughter and her daughter and her daughter. And it comes to you, it comes to your mother, and she keeps it in the puja altar. Now, how would, when your mother tells you this is what is handed down from my, great great grandmother and it's come down to me, would you believe her word or will you question? I want to see the great great grandmother, only then I will believe that this has come from there. So there is that element of Shraddha there, isn't it? So that element of Shraddha is a given. It has to be there for us to take the Shruti Vakya forward. So there are some
yeah,
things you have to believe, have faith, but do vichara. Of course, you need to do vichara. But that Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu Vishwasa Shraddha is one of the important tenets. It's the important pillars upon which we build this edifice of knowledge. You said everything is very nice. We're building a nice palace, but the foundation is shaky. To
Hmm.
strengthen that shaky foundation, you have faith. You have, that's why it's called pillars of knowledge. One of them is Shraddha. And see, that is on one side. Keep that aside. Now, are you happy the way your life is? Is your life all rosy, rosy? Or are you going through ups and downs? You're going through challenges, miseries. You're going through, isn't it? Each one of us is going through that. But aren't we seeking that, so the solace where we just experience joy throughout, not having to go through this? So that's the human experience. We cannot negate that human experience. And what is moksha is getting liberated from this being bound, being small, being insecure. You want to be, that's your our true nature is abundance. Our true nature is joy. Our true nature is complete security. So that is why we seek knowledge. That is why we seek security. Unfortunately, most people in the world think there is security in money, in wealth, in real estate, in fame, name, etc. But it is with the with the grace of the Guru or your own samskaras, your own Purva Janma Sukriti, that you get onto this path and you understand, oh, this is what it is. And the Shruti is telling you step by step. Everything which is changing is not you. There are only two things, Atma and Anatma.
And
Now,
also when you,
how
yeah,
this jiva came about? The whole thing is beautifully expounded in the Prakarana Grantha, the Tattva Bodh. How Maya has come, how, what is the genesis of Maya itself is superfluous to
Brahmashraya
understand.
Maya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we must understand it is there. That is why we see you and me as separate. It is that illusory aspect of the creation which brings in that misapprehension, which is Maya. And the sum total of all the avidya is Maya. But when it comes down to a jiva, you and me, we are bound by this veil of ignorance. Now, are you
The
saying
ignorance is
ignorance has come out of
basically,
knowledge? No,
yeah, the
it's only an
conditioning.
illusion.
Yeah.
It is an illusion. And the whole journey of moksha is to get rid of this illusion. There is only one. We are only disillusioned by, I don't know if I made sense, but I think if we go back to how the Shruti is the only way by which you get these insights into knowledge, and that is the Shabda Pramana. And then finally, even the Shabda Pramana is dissolved. It dissolves into that thing, that Brahma Bhyasa when you do.
Realization. Yeah.
Yeah, when that realization
Shastra
comes.
Pramana, the previous one, I don't know which sloka it was, before 33 or 32, when we read the first Atma,
Yeah,
about Atma, it said Shastra Pramana, that came from the scriptures.
right.
So,
Brahma.
and also when we say this insect and separating it, each individual being, like either it's animal, plant, anything you take, the first what we have to realize the self in within that person and the subject. Then you look at other, the same self exists everywhere. So how that Brahman is get caught in the thing, I mean, that's a nature, that's a law of nature, right? Something become food for something else. That's the way it goes.
And
Like
if you,
Abhimanyu
I,
knows how to go in Chakravyuha, but he doesn't know how to come out. Same way, the that spider knowing the creating the web, but he doesn't know how to come out of it. Or the other, and what
the insect does
they
not know.
doesn't
The
have an
spider
intellect.
knows.
They doesn't have an intellect also. So who will get caught?
See,
We
this
have
is
given
what
faculty.
this is where I get little confusion, because what happens, we give an example, and then uh, it is, as Brahmaraji said, we cannot take it through. Just it is an indication, fine. But then even the understanding is halfway through. It's not complete. That's what I'm saying. The examples, and as you said, rightly said, Shabda Pramana, the Vedas are the, we have to have Shraddha in that. Yes, I absolutely get it. But even the basic understanding, like now, when we say Brahman does not act, he is not into action. But then who created this? The creator himself is Brahman, right? Creator who created this, we keep saying we are all the creation of God. Is it then just the way we say, or everything has just happened by accident? uh, if I'm not created by Brahman, what we read is material, and the efficient cause is also Brahman. With the help of Maya, he has taken help of Agyana. I mean, maybe my thinking is very linear, and I just stick to the words, but this is what I keep having doubts of. Uh, with the help of Maya. What does that mean? With the help of Agyana, he has created us. This is the doubts only. It's not that I'm not doubting everything, but uh, uh, this is I don't know why anyone doesn't think this way, but I'm thinking like that. I'm sorry for that, but bringing up these things, the basic issues again and again, but I haven't got the clear understanding.
How the
That's for sure.
creation happened, that shloka was there, no? So we have to
Yeah,
go through
he
that.
is. I mean, as much as I remember, the material cause
Mataji,
and the efficient cause is Brahman
from
with
how
the help
dark
of Maya.
matter.
Anyway, we can maybe the answers will come up in next few shlokas. We don't know.
See, in that same example of the material cause, efficient cause,
Hmm.
it is when the efficient cause and the material cause are the same, the
Hmm.
creation is nothing but an illusion. In the example of the potter, pot, and the mud, each
Hmm.
is separate. The potter is separate from the mud. Potter is separate from the pot that he has created, right?
Hmm.
But whereas in the example of Maya, not example, the reality of Brahma, Maya, and the Jagat,
Hmm.
Maya, the material cause and the efficient cause are both the same. Maya is nothing but the power of Brahma. It is not separate from Brahman,
This is what I say.
right?
Agyana and knowledge are same. Same when
I
you are
would,
saying this, how can we say Maya and knowledge is the same then? Uh,
Maya,
these,
see,
huh.
it's
Hmm.
only the power, it's only the veiling power of Brahma is Maya. So when these two come together, when there is this efficient cause, material cause are the same, whatever is created is not real. It is only an illusion. It's like, see, and quantum physics also has mentioned this. Physicists who have studied physics have mentioned this. It is, imagine that the whole world is nothing but waves of energy. It is only the combination of these waves that gives the illusion of a particle, illusion of matter, illusion of a person. But what is there is only one. That Advaita is the only thing that is there. It is only because of uh, the coming together of these few waves and different combinations, permutations, that there is an illusion of matter happening.
So this has just happened by accident,
Yes.
or is it been the desire of the Brahman?
That is that. When you come to that, the Taittiriya Upanishad says, "So kamayata bahunam prajayeti." So he just thought, it was just a thought, and then from there everything came.
And he played.
And then there was a thought in him. So is there a mind in him? There is a desire to
Those are all for us to wonder, because that is beyond our intellect.
After again the Triguna and all that Tattva Bodha and Atma Bodha will work, no? So how?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The palace is very beautiful, and we have
Yeah.
the architect
So
of our mind. I mean, the Brahman in me has created so much of imagination that this has happened, this has happened. I mean, could be real, and the Vedas are definitely, I have Shraddha in that, and that's why I have been hooked onto this. But yeah.
but you come back to every day. You are Brahman every day.
Hmm.
How
In
baby is
every
formed, that
sleep,
we can
wake,
study.
dream cycle, in our sleep, dream, and deep sleep cycle, who is the one creating the dream? Where is the dream coming from? And what happens in deep sleep? And who is the waker? Are they not one and the same? It is only taking different So you can say, you can extrapolate and say the waker with aspect of Maya creates the dream world. But isn't the dreamer and the waker the same? But the dream world is completely different. Sometimes you get so lost in that dream, but it seems real as long as you're dreaming. But the moment you wake up, you realize that the dreamer and the waker, they merge. There is only one. Same thing with deep sleep, isn't it? Deep sleep, you don't have any dreams, but there is this experience of deep bliss. But is that different from the waker?
Yes,
So it is
absolutely.
all,
I mean, these examples I have got, I mean, I have got the
yeah,
understanding of what happens, but here, sorry, I forgot my
That's
question.
not the example, though. That's what is happening in every
Happening.
day.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Here, if if I consider I'm the dreamer and the waker, and I'm the Brahman, right? The Brahman is where has a veil of ignorance. That this is what we say then. If the
He
dreamer and the
doesn't,
waker,
Brahman doesn't have the veil of ignorance. We have. And,
but I'm
you know,
the dreamer, I'm the waker. When we say that, who am I?
yeah,
Who is the
he is
dreamer?
a
Who is the
sakshi.
waker?
He is the witness of all those three
Yes, the
states.
dreamer is
And
a witness, or
yeah,
he is a
and
waker. Is a dream. He is a waker. And he's the Brahman.
right.
If you equate all of this, the
Mm.
dreamer, the waker is a Brahman himself, right? This is what
See,
are we
this
trying
is
to say
what you
this?
have to understand. I keep, I'm trying to tell you the body, mind, intellect works like an instrument. Brahman is there as a consciousness. Okay, it's a consciousness. It just nothing, like no form, nothing. It's very, very subtle. Like you cannot see, feel, nothing. So it is there in your body as a kind of a life force, or you can call it any name, like energy, whatnot. But then, this the body, mind, and intellect, with the sense organs, the all those karmendriyas, whatever it is, those are the equipment. That is, and then whatever you are experiencing with body, mind, and intellect, that is the experience that you're getting. Like, so you are connecting what the Brahman is the one doing all these things. Yeah, you can
Dreamer
say
and
that.
sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
so that's where I am trying to tell, we have to connect this with that instruments. Like you are saying that the Taittiriya Upanishad, where he was having this, he was bored and he wanted to create something, and then the first akasha came, and then the water came, and like that, it came in that five elements came, and then Maya came and all that stuff. So in a way you look at it, to me, um, we separate it. At the same time, the jiva is considered as the Brahman with this body, mind, intellect, which is that gross body, subtle body, as the conditioning. The same, I don't know what your question was. Now I got lost track of the thought. Um,
What
that
I
that
think,
you.
dreamer
Mm,
and waker is too far from Brahman. He has to wonder, oh, just this, like these things or phenomenon happens with me. Only then the same waker, dreamer, Brahman will be same.
I, I heard of my own this what do you
It's
call
not
that?
for you, Maharaji.
What is that? I'm sorry.
What I said, no, it's not
Uh,
what you said. On that, I have not given the remark. I just give my thinking.
no,
What
I
was my
understand
opinion?
what I was getting something, and then I kind of got cut off. Anyway, um, yeah. So I don't know how to answer your question, but this is what I feel like.
Definitely, we will
Yeah.
have the answer when we
Yeah.
read further.
Right.
Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, everyone. And sorry
Mm.
for taking up so much time.
No, no, very wonderful contemplation. We all have this The reason is we still have it is as theoretical only. It has still not become an experiential. The moment it becomes experiential, then all these questions or these all understanding will also disappear. It will be only one thing around. I was just reading one example of
Yeah.
Ramakrishna Mission Swamiji. He's in a highest order he was, and there was a huge function going on, and suddenly he disappeared from the crowd, and everybody was looking around where he went. He was 80 plus, and then suddenly they found him coming with a small toy of a hawker who was outside selling, and by mistake the toy had fallen inside the fence. So such a compassion that he is able to notice that that hawker will not be allowed to enter inside the ashram. He went there, he brought the toy and he gave it back to that hawker. So that oneness, so, and I was reading that he had no difference for the beggar who was coming to the ashram or the king who was coming to the ashram. For him, everybody was same. So that compassion, I mean, that has become an experience for him, that the whole Srishti is one. There is no other. So when that stage comes, I think everything will disappear. This avidya and everything will disappear. So good discussion, very nice.
So the measuring tape is that the more the sambhav you have for this in the society, the more you are nearer to the higher to God, you can say. And that feeling of sambhav would be like very slowly it will develop. It will not develop overnight or few years or days. It will develop over a period of time. Once you realize that, you would be nearer to your that higher consciousness, and then all your these queries, questions, I think they will all fall down, because you have realized that self, and that everyone is you and you are everyone. In that fashion, I think it will happen. Yes, we will have to wait when it will happen, because
Then
now
there will be
I
only
and mine, it
Satchidananda.
keeps on coming, no, I, mine,
We
it is
are like
always
in the
there.
initial
Yeah.
stages, right? Like we have to
Yeah.
go long way, I think. But at the same thing, every experience that we have, try to focus to see how uh, your mind is fuzzled with the sense objects, right? Mm, like the other day, I was very hungry after workout. I came home. I said, okay, I want to eat only vegetables and fruits, but still, okay, am I really feeling hungry? And I checked, my sugar was like 99 or something. Okay, I would make dosa, and I ate dosa, and then want to have some coffee. So then I had coffee. After that only I feel good. That means, so what's happening now? I was thinking myself, even though you have the discrimination, okay, you don't want to have coffee or this, you could have had boiled vegetables and cut fruit or whatnot, but it will take time for me to do all that, because I couldn't wait after all these things. So again, I gave into my senses, sense objects, and then what gave pleasure, right? After that, then I realized, like, wait, this is how the sense object get control of you. So, I mean, it's a learning process, but then it will happen. Today I said, okay, I won't eat it. I won't eat. I would go for the fruit. I ate the fruit, wait for it, drink water. So try to, kind of change my habit. So this takes time. So this is where the sense control, mind control, we talk about Antakarna Suddhi and whatnot. Um, it's a slow process, even It takes time. You had the thought that it is like over this is a small experience. You had those thoughts, no? That is the Right.
awareness which is developing, which was
Yeah,
not
that's
easy.
what I'm saying, that
So
I am
this is
aware
how
of
we are
every
progressing.
moment
Yeah.
of it, and I am knowing, okay, I'm making the mistake. I'm go, you have the discrimination power that, okay, this is going to make me put on weight or make your whatever it's going to happen. I know that, but then knowingly we are making that mistake, yes or no? Because when you not eat certain things, like we are so used to doing it, and you're not getting satisfied, and I'm going to keep eating more and more. So I just wanted to see how I feel. But believe it or not, after I had that, I felt so comfortable and quiet, and my mind gets satisfied. So, this is what it is. So, okay, I have to change my mind a little by little, so that's where I am trying to focus on, in terms of that, trying to getting sense control part of it.
Very wonderful sharings. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, it happens. Very beautiful. So, I think we can read further. एवमात्मारणौ ध्यानं मथने सततं कृते उदाहृतिर्ज्वाला सर्वाज्ञानेन्धनम् एवं the Atma Arana in the journey of the self, dhyana, turning in the form of contemplation, satatam, constantly, krite, when done, uditahi, knowledge which is born, jwala, the flame, sarva jnanenam, all the fuel of ignorance, the hate, एवं आत्म अरण ध्यान मथने सत्कृते उद्वगतिः सर्वाज्ञान. So I think this is sarvajnanam. Break the word sarvajnana indhanam. Am I correct, Pramaraji? Of fuel of ignorance.
Yeah. There's a bit of a shake in the voice. Just continue reading. We'll see how it is. Huh?
Oh, is it? Because there is no notification coming. Okay, no problem. It will be sarva agyan indhanam, no?
I think
All
it's
the fuel
sarva
of,
jnana indanam, not ajnana indanam. It's the
because
fuel of
fuel of
knowledge.
ignorance.
Is it fuel of ignorance?
Yes. All
Sarva
the fuel of,
jnanendanam. Yeah. Sarva jnanendanam. So it is sarva ajnanendanam. All the fuel of ignorance, the hate. So it's the fire is the fire of knowledge, the arani. You're right.
What is Arani? Arano? Atma Arano? Arano is
that
what?
Aaron, I think, that
Okay.
on which.
Yeah.
Arani is that place, that thing where they take two logs of wood or one little wood into one. They churn it into that to get a spark of fire. Either they use two logs of wood, or there is one wooden container with a little depression into which this wood is, the upper wood, like how you churn buttermilk. You do that. You do it in a rapid pace, and then that will spark this churning of this wood against wood, that will lead to the spark of fire. That is the arani.
Okay. Evam
Yeah, go ahead.
Atma Aranam. एवं आत्म अरणौ ध्यान मथने सततं कृते उदितावगतिः ज्वाला सर्वाज्ञानेन्धनं दहेत्. When thus the lower and the higher aspects of the self are well churned together, the fire of knowledge is born from it, which in its mighty conflagration shall burn down all the fuel of ignorance in us. I repeat, when thus the lower and the higher aspects of the self are well churned together, the fire of knowledge is born from it, which in its mighty conflagration shall burn down all the fuel of ignorance in us. When there is a constant churning of knowledge, dhyana mathana, in you of the right idea that you are the self and not a combination of the mere body-mind stuff, when such constructive thoughts that can lead you to the goal are consistently nourished by you in meditation with single-pointed devotion, when you churn out the fire of knowledge in yourself by a process of right understanding and discrimination by your own intellect, then in that revelation and experience of your own self as absolute bliss, ignorance fades away. In that fire of knowledge, so kindled to a mighty conflagration, all misconceptions, ajnana, are burnt down as fuel is consumed by the ordinary fire. I repeat, when there is constant churning of knowledge, dhyana mathana, in you of the right idea that you are the self and not a combination of the mere body mind stuff, when such constructive thoughts that can lead you to the goal are consistently nourished by you in meditation with single pointed devotion, when you churn out the fire of knowledge in yourself by a process of right understanding and discrimination by your own intellect, then in that revelation and experience of your own self as absolute bliss ignorance, in that as absolute bliss, ignorance fades away. In that fire of knowledge, so kindled to a mighty conflagration, all misconception, ajnana, are burnt down as fuel is consumed by the ordinary fire. The churning of knowledge is elaborately described in the Kaivalya Upanishad. Read the discourses on Kaivalya Upanishad by Swami Chinmaya. Mantra 11, Kaivalya Upanishad, is one of the minor Upanishads, and no exhaustive commentary is available upon it elsewhere. In the ancient days, for the purpose of the rituals, fire was produced by turning a wooden rod on two wooden pieces, hollowed out for the ends of the rod to rest. When the rod is churned in these sockets, pressed down firmly, the friction creates heat and fire. This idea is taken here in this beautiful metaphor. The lower ego and the higher self are pressed to the Maha Mantra, I am the Supreme Self, Aham Brahmasmi. And when through reflection it is churned properly, the fire of knowledge is generated and meditation fans fans it into a conflagration. In this, all our ignorance and misconceptions are burnt down. These ashes of the burnt up vasanas are the very glory, bhushana of Lord Parmeshwara, Vibhuti. The low dung ashes are symbolical only. Thus, the glory of a man of culture and perfection is that he has burnt up his lower nature in the fire of his own higher understanding of life and its consummate goal. So beautiful. I read this footnote again. These ashes of the burnt up vasanas are the very glory, bhushan of Lord Parmeshwara Vibhuti. The low dung ashes are symbolical only. Thus, the glory of a man of culture and perfection is that he has burnt up his lower nature in the fire of his own higher understanding of life and its consummate goal. Its consummate goal. Kindly correct me if my pronunciation is wrong.
It's consummate.
Consummate, okay. Consummate. I think we will tomorrow Manana again. Brahmanaji, what is your we can stop here or
The first paragraph explains what Mrinalji was asking, no?
yeah, it
Like,
is the answer to her question. Yes.
yeah, the experience which we have in meditation, it's just a glimpse of it. And in meditation, you don't have the awareness of your body at some time of the meditation. That awareness goes away of your whole body. That a small speck of time, that is the awareness experience rather. And it is only through meditation you can experience that no other way. But for preparation of meditation, all that is required, that knowledge, sadhana, seva, everything. The more are these things, the more deeper and smooth or easily that meditation will happen. Less of thoughts, basically. Yeah.
That Tivra Viveka is required between separating the Sat and Asat, or maybe the
Yeah. Meditation is, again, it would just lead you to that nirvikalpa samadhi state. But then again, there's every possibility of you coming back. So meditation is again only a preparation towards that. Ultimately, it is through the Shabda Pramana that the realization happens. So it's a combination of all the three: Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Jnana. All these are
Yeah,
preparations. Karma
it's
Yoga and
only
Dhyana Yoga.
Yeah, only that experience which you have, it is only while during meditation. Otherwise, everything is required at that whole journey. It includes all, but it's only in that process that you have that, that practical experience which you have. It's only
Which is
that,
true,
and
but
that
that
is,
experience is
yeah,
not eternal, no?
it's not,
We come
yeah,
out of
it's
it.
not eternal.
So that
Yeah,
the
it's just
ultimate
an
link is
experience, one
knowledge.
time experience. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So it is that light of knowledge that will actually remove even that bit of darkness there that is veiling us and bringing us back from that samadhi state to the world of objects. And for that, you require the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So we'll wind up here. And today, maybe we can play Maya Panchakam. Belaji, are you able to do that?
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm?
yeah.
There's a lot of discussion on Maya today. And yeah, it's useful. So
Maya
that
Panchakam.
yeah, we'll do the Maya Panchakam. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Very good.
निरुपमनित्यनिरंशेऽप्यखण्डे मयि चिति सर्वविकल्पनादिशून्ये घटयति जगदीश जीवभेदम् अघटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया श्रुतिशतनिकान्तशोधकानपि अहह निदर्शनेन सद्यः कलुषयति च नानघटितघटना पटीयसी माया सुखिदखण्डविभोमतिरीयम् वियदनलादिनिर्मित्ते नियोज्य गमयति भवसागरेणान्तम् घटितघटना पटीयसी माया अपगतगुणजातिभिः सुकृतिप्रविडार्यं कृतिं च स्फुटयति सुतदारहे मोहम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया ्यखण्डे बत वियबुधानपि भ्रमयति हरिहरविभेदावानघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया